by staying stagnant or in a position too long, it's actually a detriment to the family wealth and the relationships. And that stuff should be surfaced earlier on. Welcome back to the Family Wealth Edge, episode 26. As you can see, I'm still in my Floridian style here.
Live is better.
Live is better. We'll have to figure out a way that we can do more of these. We'll have to get Kristen and Ryan to come up to Canada. Bring your parka.
In the summer.
Bring your parka. Where's your toque?
In the fall.
In the
maybe.
fall. Fall's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Next time you come up to Michigan to visit your family, let us know and we'll meet you in Sarnia. Oh yeah,
It sounds good,
So for this episode, we're calling it
Family Wealth Fixer-Uppers.
Family Wealth Fixer-Uppers. So Kristen and I have jotted down some scenarios that we see with families that we work with. We'll just see if we can have a conversation about what we could possibly advise these families on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's kind of common scenarios that you and I encounter, I guess. I'm thinking of this a little bit like HGTV. People are like, oh, this bathroom, they live with it for so long, unremodeled, because they don't see.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Think about it. Do you have a space?
Home and Garden? Home and Garden?
Yeah, HGTV.
Oh, I got it. I don't watch much TV. In Canada? Oh, we have the satellites that they can track that stuff, eh?
Okay.
My igloo doesn't get cable. My igloo, yeah.
Listen, you forget that I used to live in Detroit.
I know.
It's not that far away.
Yeah.
But no, so you have like a bathroom in your house,
Yeah.
maybe that you want to remodel, but you live for like 10 years with it not how you want it. And someone else can come in and be like, I know exactly what you need to do. I feel like these scenarios are similar, that if someone out there is facing these, I feel like a person like you or I could come in and like easily diagnose, here's some of the things that are going on, and we can help you navigate it.
Definitely things to think about, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The first one is the rising gen siblings won't make time to come to the family meeting.
Yes, a common scenario that we see. If I was speaking to mom and dad, I would ask them, put yourself in your kids' shoes. When you were their age, would you want to attend a family meeting? I think this is where the preparation and what we call design phase of the family meeting is so important, to actually sit down and ask the rising gen, what is something that you want to talk about? Actually help them co-create the agenda as an initial first step.
So it's relevant to them.
So it's relevant to them. And then I think this is something that you've heard me speak ad nauseum about, have to make these meetings fun. You have to, so again, asking the rising gen, asking the family to co-create this agenda together and the elements of fun, so that, yes, there's business to talk about. There's important conversations that are needed, just estate planning, how to manage responsibilities with wealth. Yes. And how can we intentionally spend time together and have that dreaded word, fun? Let's have fun together. Because we've seen it where family meetings go wrong. They're really dry. Mom, dad, or some advisor is pontificating in front of the room about what could be, usually with a lot of numbers in front of them. And there's no element of fun. And of course, people don't want to attend. I think the other thing that we underestimate a lot of times is let's say a rising gen member has a job, their own career. They may necessarily can take the time off to attend the family meeting because of their work schedule, their own personal conflict in their calendar. Why are you laughing? The dogs? I think Matt can air that out. I think we should keep it in because I was on a roll. I was on a roll.
You are on a roll.
Yeah, I think, this is what podcasting is, right? Like these are the things that happen on live television.
It's true.
Yes, I remember Regis and Kathy Lee's.
They didn't have dogs that are constantly making.
Regis always talked about his dog. No, that was his wife. I'm sorry. Okay. So
I can beat you when we're not virtual.
What were we saying? Oh, I think that's an important part, right? So put yourself in your kids' shoes, the rising gen shoes, co-create the agenda together as a family, and please make some element of fun so that you want to come back to these meetings. And this is more of your domain, but I'm sure the research shows if people are laughing and having a good time, they're going to learn something too.
Yeah, and your family, right? So have it be this experience that can be fun together. Also, I feel like, have you asked them what's getting in the way? Because sometimes it's logistical, right? It might be they have 4 kids and they're really struggling to get across the country for 3 days or whatever you're asking them to do.
They could be going through their own stuff. And I think that's an important takeaway, is that I'm guilty of it with my boys. My agenda is the agenda, and that's not, especially as rising gens build their own families, really have to be thoughtful on how you co-design these very important and hopefully fun family meetings. I think that a well-constructed family meeting should be the anchor for every family enterprise, and the funner the better, in my humble opinion. So, yeah.
Next one, dad refuses to step aside in the family business, even though there is a solid, competent successor in the next generation. You see this?
We do see it. And I think this is human nature in a lot of ways too. If you're asking me what would I do first, I think I would sit down with dad and just, help him start to articulate vision, what life looks like after the business. And this is an identity thing. I know I was guilty of it, just working for my dad and being so attached to the company. If I don't do this, who am I? So for sure, we call it founder's disease. The founder or the leading gen is going through some of that similar stuff. If I don't do this every day, we see this with everybody, with retirees, where they retire and then they pass away, right? Like, because they've lost that purpose in life. Nobody wants that. So I think it's sitting down with that and actually talking about what does life look like without this role. More importantly, I think it's helping people. This is the coaching framework. Like, what could be is always a nice conversation. But then I think we flip the script and take, like, what are some of the things you don't want to see happen? So, hey, dad, holding on too long. And let's actually talk about some of the risks that are involved by not stepping aside is probably maybe stepping up is a different type of way to say it, or at least helping the transition to your successor, be part of that transition. But I think it's really helping these strong personalities recognize by staying stagnant or in a position too long, it's actually a detriment to the family wealth and the relationships. And that stuff should be surfaced earlier on. So I would challenge dad in a compassionate way. Like, what do you want to see happen? What's getting in the way for you? What does your life look like after this role? And let's really talk about this from a risk perspective. By you staying in this role too long, what does it do to the business, to empowering the next leader, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and have that conversation with that.
And I think a lot of times too, they're thinking of it as like, I'm going to leave and stop doing this. And how many times is it just your leadership here is changing? The approach you're taking is changing into more of a mentorship from a distance guidance. And I think they miss out on the opportunity to do that when they're sticking in the operations side of it.
That's why it's not stepping out, it's stepping up.
That's
right.
good.
And if we can help dad reframe his role from, day-to-day operations manager, we'll just put a title on it, to mentor, leader. You're now an owner in transition. It's a great book. I'm trying to remember the name. I'll put it in the Coles notes. I've referenced it before. It's the book about the New Zealand All Blacks, and they have 12 rules. But one of the first leadership lessons is leave the jersey in a better place. And if we can just help leading gens, mums, dads, whoever's the leading gen in that role, understand that your role evolves into leaving the jersey in a better place, I think that's more of a healthy mindset to take on versus I got to step out and I'm worthless now. Your role as leading gen
it's vital.
In that transition is vital to the next generation. Good.
All right, next one.
Okay. This is a very expensive yellow pad of paper. We spare no expense here at the Family Wealth Edge. Okay, so scenario number 3, an adult rising gen keeps going over budget, and mom and dad worry she will squander. Why she? Are you referring to yourself?
No.
That she will squander the family wealth. Sorry to all you ladies out there.
A dude could just as likely be an overspender as a female. Actually.
Yes. Right? We've seen some overspending males. Yes. Because some of them come to mind. Okay.
Different things they're spending on sometimes. But so this happens a lot. And I think part of the reason that it happens, like what's underneath, can be actually not having the full picture. So a lot of parents, how they'll be like, oh, I'm super reluctant to tell the kids the whole scenario. Like, how much is in their trust or how much is in our family limited partnership. And so they might have access to $1 million in their trust and they're spending through that. And they're thinking, we can't tell them about the $35 million and the $90 million, but maybe it would be helpful if they did, because if you're not giving them any context to the larger set of wealth, they have no way of knowing, is this 1%? Is this 10% of the total situation. So they can't do their own financial planning. And so they're just seeing this as like an ATM that they can go to. And really, if you think, it shouldn't be a surprise that they're using it like an ATM because they don't have any training or education that's been poured into them otherwise. And so I think transparency is not always the right solution, but it can be the right solution when it's paired with education to help them step into responsibility and start to understand you can be a steward of this. And it's cool that when we start to teach them, here's how you can understand the power of compounding. What's going to happen if you take out $100,000 from this $1 million trust every year? Here's what it looks like in 10 years gone. Versus if you're leaving it for the next 5 years and then taking out $10,000 of it, it's growing over time, and really getting them to think about their own responsibility to this family into the future.
And both topics, the one that we talked about dad refusing to step up, and the adult rising gen spending over budget, are great topics for a family meeting.
Yeah.
Have some fun with that one.
Yeah.
So last but not least,
goes together.
Parents are reluctant to tell their kids about the wealth and trusts because they worry it will take their drive away.
I mean, I get this. I get where people are coming from when they're worried about this. And a lot of times it's like first generation to second generation. And the G1s will tell us, oh, well, we had to grind, and for us it was hard, and we grew up without resources. And so
up a hill, snowy hill with no shoes to school.
Ways. And so
you go up and down the hill. Sorry,
it doesn't make sense. So I think that they think that this is the path to drive.
Yes.
But it's not the only path to drive. Right? Yeah. So they can instill a sense of value into the next generation in a way that is going to be formative and beneficial for them, but it doesn't have to look exactly like the same race that the first generation was leading.
Absolutely. And that's a real responsibility conversation we've been having for a year on this episode.
Yeah.
To your point, the form is different for someone growing up in this environment.
Yeah.
And there's a path to that responsibility, right? And I think bootstrapping it is different for everybody.
Yeah, right.
Like if I'm an artist, high creative, I'm not necessarily pounding the pavement every day, but I'm working on something. So to your point, whatever that path is, help them determine their drive. And we believe it's through real responsibility. And what better environment to do that in a family enterprise?
And developing clarity about what that looks like and how that might look different across a sibling group or a cousins group, given what they're all interested in. For some of them, it could be a nonprofit role. Obviously, you're not going to make as much money. There need to be more access to trust or parent funding, and with that being the case, maybe. So those are all things for a family to sort out. But I don't know. I think that a lack of transparency about the funds often is doing just the thing that the people didn't want to have happen, and it's creating entitlement because they know that you live in a 9,000 square foot house, and they know that mom and dad will pay for things if I can't pay my credit card bill. Like those behaviors, in the context of having no understanding of what's going on with transparency with the family wealth, that is creating a sense of entitlement.
Well said. Episode 26. It's our last of the 3-part series of live in Vero Beach. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We'll be back in another couple of weeks with another episode.
Yeah.
Kristen, it's been great. It's great. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening and watching The Family Wealth Edge.
Bye.
Take care.